All right, welcome back to Behind the Bench. We get set to kick off a little bit of a different schedule. We actually have the weekend off for a change. The Niners come back from a weekend, getting 5 points on the road against Alabama Huntsville. We're here with former Alabama Huntsville Charger himself, assistant coach Lance West. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Brent?
Hey, we're doing pretty good. So certainly, after the way that things have gone, for the last couple weeks at home, now you get a good road trip. 5 of 6 points, coming back both nights. Talk about the weekend.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Anytime you can get points on the road. The thing is, the last few times we've been there, we haven't had good starts. I mean, I was talking a little bit about to Dallas, but that's 4 games in a row there where they've come out in the first period and kind of taken it to us in their rake. I think they were up 3-0 Friday, 1-0 Saturday, and the year before they were up 3-0 and 2-0 after the first period. And we haven't had good starts there. That's really, I guess, the only negative I can come up with. But when you look at that, the positives, how much we battled back, just stayed with it, stayed with the plan, kept our composure, and been able to come back and get points in most of those games. So, they're a vastly improved team. Coach Corbett's done a good job down there. As a guy who's alum, you're always evaluating that. I think he's done a great job. They're a team that can really skate. They've been able to keep up with teams in the league now. And they work extremely hard, so you earn your points down there.
Well, they certainly had a good couple runs. They just swept UAA in Anchorage actually the week before they played us. So both teams actually heading back across the country, back to Huntsville to play down there in the Von Braun Center. So let's talk a little bit about Friday's game. Like you mentioned, you come back from down 3-0. You tie it 3-3 and you force a 3-on-3 overtime. A lot of threes going on here.
Yeah.
Talk a bit about Taylor Munson's game-winning goal there.
Yeah, I actually thought, for his first weekend back, he played extremely well. I think both nights he was really well. He was skating. He's a smart hockey player when he's playing well. He was in great spots. Good puck support. Strong on the F2 guy was always kind of smart and quick. So, he just played really well that whole line. Him, Chad, and Tyler, they were kind of the offensive catalyst for most of the weekend. And, you need that from your older guys. And, we lost a couple games at home, and we didn't have some of our older guys, and they have to be the guys to go to guys, and I thought he had that kind of weekend. Really on the 3-on-3, Zach, Chad, and him were on the 3-on-3. They had 2 2-on-1s in the first 25 seconds. Really, it was just from executing 2-on-1s and did a really good job of isolating someone, creating a 2-on-1 a couple times, and then on the last one, they took advantage of it, and he made a really nice play and finished.
Well, it seems like, especially towards the end of that game, there wasn't a whole lot of shots. Jesse Jenks wasn't being tested almost at all towards the end of the third period, into overtime, and into the 3-on-3. I think they got 2 shots on goal total in the entire extra stanza. It was 5-1 after the first overtime, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, that game-winning goal, with having a guy like Taylor back in the lineup, it seemed like he was involved offensively, but also played quite a bit defensively. And it seemed like there was quite a bit of a turn with his play, especially between the first and second period.
He seems to have that. I talked a little bit about it. Like when he has breaks or early starts, the start of the year, he's been really strong the last couple of years. And then, as the season's gone on, I don't know if we wear him down, but when he's had breaks, he's come back. He's been really strong in all those games. So, getting rested and getting the legs back was good for him. And, he played well. Obviously, killing penalties is really defensive. When you're out 5-on-5, you're looking to do your job and get on the offense, get the transition going, and occasionally you have to play in the D zone. And he's a smart hockey player, so he's able to do that.
Yeah, and Zach Fry, of course, too, another standout player this weekend. I think he had 3 points, something to that effect, if I'm not mistaken. But he made a great play in that game-winning goal in Saturday's game with Chad Staley. Let's break that play down a little bit.
You make me draw on the board. I was worried about that, but I got a pen.
Hey,
it was pretty standard, pretty simple, and he made a really good play. He really did a good job of pinching. So Zach was just kind of here. He's number 6. Guy was trying to come up the wall here. He cut him off, so when he threw it in the air, he was able to kind of just bat it down with his glove. Made an excellent play driving wide after he batted it down, created a 2-on-1. Their D was here, and Chad did a really good job of going to the net. He drove the back post like he's supposed to. This guy laid down. I don't know if you know what that is. The D lays down, he got flat. So when Zach came around over here, he had to throw a sauce, which is a pass over him, right on Chad's stick, and was able to throw it in the net. So, skilled play. One, he'd be able to use his glove, knock it down, get control, drive around the defenseman, and then throw a sauce pass over a defenseman who's laying flat. And Chad was able to one-time it. And, it's a skilled play. It's a really skilled play to throw that kind of pass. And it was a good read by him on the pinch. And then he made an excellent play on the pass, and we can't ask for any more, and Chad finished it. So, there's no secrets. I can't say there's an X and O thing to that or anything coaching-wise. It was just a guy making a play.
Just how you drew it up, and of course, that's what you're looking for from your senior guys, right? Zach Fry making a very intelligent play, but when you get a guy to get this guy to make a mistake up at the point, just to kind of fail to clear that puck, you force that 2-on-1 situation, but you force this defenseman into panic because now everything's kind of coming back the other way. it's a quick transition. Obviously, it didn't even clear the zone, so nobody has to leave, and Chad gets a good break and goes undetected almost.
Yeah.
I think he's expecting the play, which is trying to just
He
do
was
that
actually, the
again.
guy threw it in the air.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it on video, but when he threw it in the air, he actually stuck his hand out and knocked it down, almost like a goalie.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone was expecting that, and the rest of the guys were just flying the zone, thinking it was going to get out. So when he was able to bat it down, there was only guy left, it was the guy that threw it, and he was able to go around him and then just throw a sauce over the other D. So, I think it was really more, he caught everyone off guard a little bit with the ability to knock the puck out of the air and control it.
Well, you said certainly as you draw it up, right?
Yeah, well, I wish I could say that. We don't do a lot of knocking down with your hand drills.
Yeah, sure. Well, great weekend on the road. This weekend you guys have some time off. I think coaches are out recruiting. You're back here trying to keep the guys going. How does the routine change when you guys know you have a weekend of relaxing and getting ready for Thanksgiving break?
Well, I think you just get some of the guys who are injured get an extra day off here and there, and you try and give guys a day to rest if they need it. You don't push them as hard. Practices don't change. Your Monday through Thursday routine is going to stay the same. You're not going to change that. You're going to get your workouts. You're going to get your practice in. The difference is probably on the weekend. You might do a Saturday scrimmage to try and do as much game simulation as you can. The legs, push the legs a little, burn them so Saturday, so that you're not completely off all weekend. And then the guys get a little bit more relaxation time, and quite frankly, hopefully they're taking advantage of it by catching up on their homework, because we got 8 conference games down the stretch the last month before the playoffs. The good thing is 3 of those series and 6 of those games are at home. So this is a real important stretch for us, because we got a lot of home games. This is where you have to get some points.
Well, being even though we're coming up on Thanksgiving, the semester's coming close to an end as well too. These guys get themselves concerned with finals and everything going there too. But of course, Michigan Tech coming up. They're going to be on a 2-week road trip. They're playing in Anchorage this weekend. Of course, those guys second in the standings right now. They're no joke either. Certainly an offense to contend with. What's the strategy for those guys next weekend?
Well, we'll watch some video. The one thing about Tech is they're extremely well coached. I think they have, honestly, probably the best D-core in the league, and that's no disrespect to anybody else. There's some really good teams out there. Their depth on the back end is really good. They all move. They move their feet extremely well. They make good first passes, and that's their strength. And strategy is going to have to be to get on top of them. We're going to have to pressure those guys. We're going to have to force them to make plays quick and make them earn their space and earn their time. So, but they're a team that plays with a lot of pace. They get up and down the ice. They back pressure, and they're always moving forward. They're not a team that backs up. It's just the way I think Mel does it. Extremely aggressive, and you're going to have to make plays under pressure. We'll prepare by practicing a lot of drills where small areas, under pressure, forechecking guys under pressure, defensemen making plays going back to pucks under pressure, and then ourselves playing with pace. That's what we want to do. So that'll be the prep all week.
Yeah. Well, these guys, they have some extra time to get themselves prepared. Of course, Michigan Tech is going to play in Anchorage this week. That'll be a fun game. I think all of us are going to be watching that one pretty closely for the series next weekend. Michigan Tech always travels well. I know there's going to be a bunch of fans who are talking online about coming up. So we'll need the other fans support the Carlson Center next weekend after Thanksgiving. So hopefully the turkey hangover doesn't last too long. Yeah, we'll keep these guys going. But thanks a lot, Coach. Go nuts. Enjoy the week off.
Thank
We'll see you next weekend.
Have a good weekend, and happy Thanksgiving.
All right, welcome back to Behind the Bench. Thanks for Lance West for his time. We're here now with equipment manager Kevin Duffy. Of course, it's the off week, so coming back from a long road trip, there's got to be lots of stuff behind the scenes going on. You're taking care of these guys. Obviously, it's a practice week. The guys are getting some ice time on their own with coaches and practices, stuff like that. Just take us through a day in the life of Kevin Duffy.
Well, yeah, this week is nice, kind of being able to get caught up. Obviously, there are still practices, but for whatever reason, it's a little bit less demanding. I guess without a game the guys are preparing for, it's a little bit less, I don't know, maybe skate sharpenings and all that. But on a regular week, I'd say I just, after practice, I make sure laundry gets going. That's the main time-consuming thing. Obviously, there's stuff that we can do during, like, while the laundry's going, like skate sharpening and repairs and the day-to-day stuff like that, but that's about it. I kind of just do whatever gets thrown my way.
There you go. Well, we're in front of the locker stall, probably one of the cleanest ones I've seen in my day. We're here, Josh Erick's stall. Of course, there's a lot of equipment all these guys are wearing. Helmets, gloves, pads, chest protectors, everything. A lot of this stuff can't be easy to keep track of. You guys are traveling across the country. Of course, there's baggage limits. We have 28 guys. I think the travel party's 22. I heard a funny story too at the Lake State Series. We'll get to that in a second. But we were transporting all this equipment, halfway across the country. What's the process? How does it all go for you?
It's actually kind of interesting. I hadn't flown this much in my life before taking this job, and I mean, actually my previous equipment job, the first time I'd ever checked a bag in my life, I checked 30 of them because I was traveling with a hockey team. And actually on this road trip, we checked 65 bags.
65 bags.
Total. And I was in charge, or like, I'd say 7 of them were mine for like equipment and what I needed on the road. And 22 player equipment bags, 22 player personal bags, coaches all have their bag, training staff has their bags, so it all adds up to, we got to 65 last time.
It's 22 guys, it's a hair over 3 bags a person. It's there's certainly some baggage counts that Alaska Airlines certainly goes with. So
Yep.
now, when you guys flew to Detroit for the Lake Superior State Series a couple weeks ago, there was a pretty interesting story with some of that equipment going missing, right?
Yep, actually all 3 of our stick bags didn't show up, and Davis Jones's equipment didn't show up either. And it was, what added on top of it was we had practice in a few hours. So assistant coach Eric Largent actually deserves a lot of the credit for it. He happened to know a guy in the area or something.
Oh, okay.
He made a phone call and we ended up buying 22 Sherwood hockey sticks. So practice went on, and I mean, I was kind of blown away. I was busy with the lady finding out where our bags were. It turned out 2 of the hockey stick bags went to Minneapolis with Fairbanks Ice Dog, NAHL team, and Daver and another stick bag went to Chicago for whatever reason. Nobody ever gave me a reason for it, but they ended up getting dropped off at my hotel room that night.
Wow.
And we bussed Lake State the next morning, so it all worked out seamlessly. Like I said, Eric Largent deserves a lot of the credit.
Yeah. Well, rookie assistant coach is going to step up and take the bill every once in a while, right?
We all had to find a way, so
Yeah, there you
it was,
go.
it was a fun practice. I pointed out that none of the guys' sticks broke. The $25 sticks don't break, but
Of course, the $25 sticks don't break,
hundreds
right?
of dollar sticks, they always seem to break. So.
Yeah, they always say if you buy a cheap pair of sunglasses, you'll never lose those in your life. But the second you go buy a pair of Ray-Bans, they're gone the next day or the next week. So
Same thing.
same thing. Well, we saw with Colton Parayko a couple of years ago. He was kind of the sort of the stick magician. Like all of a sudden you'd have one and it would disappear. So you know, obviously the equipment though is a big deal. These guys are dependent on it not just for their safety on the ice, but just to be able to go and play and practice and have their gear ready to roll whenever they need it. So,
Yeah.
is there anything else you want to tell the fans?
Not a whole lot, just with the guys. First and foremost, it's about safety. Then, kind of the hard part is about comfort and fit. Like the safety, that part of the job is relatively easy because CCM takes good care of us. We have all of our guys wearing CCM protective equipment, and about half and half wearing CCM skates. So they take care of the safety proponent. It's mostly my job to make sure it fits and that it's comfortable for the athletes. So
What goes into some of that? I mean, I know some of it's player preference of how how their skates fit or how, and you
Yeah.
guys, you can mold the skates to their feet, right?
yep, every player whenever they get a new pair of skates, they put the skates inside of a hockey oven and we bake them to, I think it's around 250 degrees. It might be a little bit less than that. We have them set for a few minutes and then have the guys put the skates on, tie them up, set for 10 to 15 minutes. So that actually kind of molds to their foot, so that makes it a little bit more comfortable on them. But other guys are a little bit more particular than that. Like one thing I've done this year more than I ever have in my entire life is I've switched out tongues.
Oh, yeah?
8 player skates or 8 pairs of skates, and it's just something that I didn't even know how to do going into this year, but now I'm like a pro at it. So
Hey, just like anything else, it just takes repetition. All of a sudden, you're professional, right?
yeah, so all the little things like that.
Well, yeah, you're in the job. I mean, you come up from Minnesota somewhere, right?
Yep.
So coming up to Alaska, so not a whole lot of change in weather, but certainly a little bit of change of pace for being the head equipment guy here for the Canucks.
It's been great.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Appreciate it. Enjoy your off weekend, hopefully. Yeah. We'll get ready for Michigan Tech next weekend. Thanks for watching this week. Of course, after Thanksgiving, our series against Michigan Tech next Friday and Saturday at the Carlson Center. Good luck.